Here's a step-by-step walkthrough on how to set up a flow in Klaviyo. All right, so what I want to do is, for this one, we're going to start fresh, and I think this will help us just kind of clarify a couple of more terms, and then we will kind of work through just a quick flow. I know we don't have too much time left, so I'll try to be quick. All right, so I'm going to create this one from scratch. This one is going to be, so we have our welcome series, but now let's create a dog owner loyalty flow. All right. When you start creating flows from scratch, you're going to notice that the setup is a little bit different. So previously, the trigger was already chosen for us. In this case, we get to select the trigger. And this is really where it could be pretty powerful. So you could choose different things. Maybe checkout started, maybe someone was added to a list, or maybe in this case, they were added to a segment. So you could always go to all triggers here and kind of look at the different options, but I am going to do added to segment. And which segment will trigger this flow? This is going to be for the dog owners. So when someone is added to the dog owners segment, this will trigger. And there's one additional piece that we didn't mention earlier, which is your trigger filter. So what you can do is you can add additional pieces of criteria here. Perhaps in this case, what I want to do is only include, all right, just a basic example. So maybe I only want to trigger this whenever someone gets added to the dog owner segment and they have placed an order at least once over all time, then I want to trigger this flow. So that's what a flow filter is. It allows you to exclude certain contacts that maybe you don't want this to trigger for. All right, so we have our trigger. We'll go ahead and save that. We'll confirm it. One thing to mention, I just clicked out, but once you create your trigger, you are not able to update it here. Probably pretty important to take note of that. But once you create your trigger, you can't update the trigger type here. What you would have to do is exit out, clone this, and then update the trigger. So that's one little thing that I think can be frustrating at times. So I just wanted to point that out. But in this case, our trigger is good. Someone is added to dog owners. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to test something out. We're going to do a conditional split, and we're going to do a random sample only on 50% of the people. Okay. And maybe one of the things that we want to test with this flow is there an impact on having a time delay versus not having a time delay? So for this one, I'm going to say, let's wait 2 days before we send it. Okay. And then from there, we're going to send some emails. I skip the template for now, but you would just, update your template to select it. All right. So we have our email here. That's the first one. Now, maybe I want to send the same email. So I'm just going to clone this one. And now I have email 2, which I can just drag over here. So it's going to be the same email. The only difference is they're going to get it right away. These people are going to get it 2 days later. So this is one of the ways that we can test different things within our flows. So testing the timing. There's a few other examples I could talk about, but for now, we're going to say that's what we're testing. And then after that, we're going to rejoin it. That I did the test, but now everybody is going to get a text message. And after that, wait 1 more day. Great. All right. And then you could take this on even further. So I'm gonna switch over and show a different account. I just kind of wanted to show how you set some of these up, but let me show you an actual example of how a loyalty program could be set up. So in this case, the trigger is when someone placed an order, and there's no flows. It's just every time someone places an order, this gets triggered. They then wait an hour and a half, and if they've placed an order 5 times, they get this special email here, which says, thank you. Hey, we just noticed this is your 5th order of all time. You get a free shaker bottle on your next order. Great. As a customer, I'm happy about that. But let's say it was not equals 5. So then it would go no. And have they placed it 11 times? If so, they get another one. If they placed it 19 times, they get another one. 29 times, they get another one. So you can see how this could really work well to engage your customers, to encourage them to become long-term customers of your business, continuing to place orders. And there's really no limit to where you can take these conditions. So one of the things I recommend is you start with the basics, set up all of your must-have flows. Then take it a step further, set up some advanced flows with some segments. Once you feel like those are now rolling, then it's time to take it one step further and really start to break down some of your flows into different branches depending on your customer data. So in this flow, for example, could have taken it a step further and said, actually, have they placed an order 5 times And not only was it 5 times, but where the collection, was dog products, for example. In this case, I'll just choose one of these. So I could say, hey, if they placed an order in this collection, do this. But if they placed an order in our cat collection, do this. If they purchase something in our bird collection, do that. Then you would have 3 branches coming off of this first one. But then, all right, no, it's not equal to 5 times. You do the same thing over here. Have they placed the order 11 times? One in dog, one in cat, one in bird. And then you could just continue to expand. And again, this works a little bit better if your email list is larger and you have the data to segment and to target. But hopefully this gives you just a little idea of how you can really make these very robust and continue to add in additional circumstances and situations as you grow your flows within Klaviyo.